Just when you thought we were done, folks, we are back with another Dom and Gon Sports Talk video. The show where we not only talk about the Baltimore Ravens, but everything going on in the NFL. And boy, has it been a doozy in the NFL. We had some great wild card action last weekend. A great bunch of games going on. It was. I mean, up until probably Monday, because that Monday game was that was a doozy. But other than that, guys, great time to be here. We have a lot to discuss and a decent amount of time. So we're just going to get right into it. Gons, how have you been this past week, man? No Ravens football to stress out about. So I'm pretty sure you've been serenading in harmony.
Yeah, it's been nice, honestly. I mean, I didn't want to see how this team performed in the playoffs. I mean, we saw how Pittsburgh performed in the playoffs, and that was just a laughing stock. The Texans were trying to give them the game over and over and over again, and they just didn't want it. And then the floor just fell out from under them in the fourth quarter. So that was awesome to see, and it was very expected also. So that, like I said, that was very fun to watch and laugh and just know that I don't think the Ravens would have gotten that beat that bad. I think they would have maybe had a little bit of pride from the first time we lost to them. But yeah, Pittsburgh, all that little emotion that they were showing after beating Baltimore, completely gone now. And Mike Tomlin's gone. He's stepping down. Maybe there's more to that we don't know. Mike Tomlin still has not made a response yet to the Pittsburgh Steelers after his so-called stepping away. So that's something to look at. Ravens have been.
Oh, he did release a statement. He did release a statement
did?
after he stepped down. Yeah. He released
I
a
didn't
statement.
see it. I didn't see it.
I
There
think
we go
Sheffield
again.
posted
See,
it, but
thank you, Dom. See, there we go, guys. There he is with the media stuff. That's keeping me hip to it because I just don't be on it that much. So
It's funny because my job actually recovered Tomlin's firing, but I guess that's because he's such a Baltimore rival.
What did he say briefly? Like, you don't have to.
I think he just thanked the fans. He thanked Steeler Nation. He thanked the Rooneys, everyone he's worked with, from the coaches that he's been with to the players that he's coached. Just thanked everyone. He just felt like it was time, to step down. Obviously, after the Harbaugh firing, fans were calling. I mean, fans were calling for his job, and I saw reports that he felt unappreciated. And also, obviously, none of these reports, we don't know if anything is true. Tomlin has said none of this, by the way. But I mean, there was some trepidation even coming into the season that Tomlin was just like, I don't know, this might be it for me after the season. And then the news broke. I think that was that Tuesday. Actually, no, the same day as the Bisciotti and DeCosta press conference that
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, so that Tuesday was a lot of news for football.
Well, and the players seemed really upset about it from
not happy
reports that we heard.
They were not happy.
So,
I mean, they love
it's going to be interesting in Pittsburgh next year. I mean, a lot of people came to the Steelers just to be with Mike Tomlin, like Aaron Rodgers and some of those other big name free agents. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe they might. Maybe the Steelers fans didn't know what they got. I heard interesting things online about the Steelers are not a very talented team, and the reason why they were making the playoffs because of Mike Tomlin, and maybe without him holding them together, the floor might fall out from under them, and they might have a bad year. So I don't know. It's going to be weird next year in the AFC North. No Harbaugh, no Mike Tomlin. So we'll see if we can renew that rivalry with our new head coach.
This is a new era of AFC North football. There's only one coach remaining in the AFC North, and that is Zach Taylor.
And he might not be long. He might be next.
If this season is bad, he might be right behind him. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah, man. So let's get right into it. So obviously, folks, as we talked about just a little bit ago, Steve Bisciotti, along with Eric DeCosta, addressed the media for the first time in years. I guess for the end of season press conference, and obviously a lot to say. And the fans love the press conference. A lot of positive feedback from that press conference on Tuesday. We're going to unpack a little bit of it here because, again, he had a lot to say and he didn't hold a lot back. I'm going to start a little bit, Gonz, with the Harbaugh firing. Obviously, Bisciotti said he said what led to the firing, the blown leads in the fourth quarter. The mistakes in the postseason, not performing to our standard in the postseason. The standard that we were set in the regular season was not being set in the postseason, which was what led to the firing. And he said even if Tyler Lute made that kick and the Ravens won that game against the Steelers, Bisciotti said that Harbaugh would have only been coaching for another week. So he was set in stone in saying that we are going to start a new era of Ravens football without John Harbaugh. Gon, just your initial thoughts on Bisciotti and how he handled the Harbaugh firing. He did it over the phone. He didn't do it in person.
That's kind of crazy. I will give you that. That's a little insane.
He confirmed he called Harbaugh while I believe he was on his way home, and pretty much said, yeah, man, we're going in a different direction. He called it the craziest firing in the world after 18 years coaching this team. Just your initial thoughts on what Bisciotti had to say about the Harbaugh firing and how he handled it.
I mean, yeah, this was sort of like what I was saying when Harbaugh just got fired, and Bisciotti was just confirming a lot of our claims as fans and, as just media members too, that we're saying the same sort of thing. I mean, there just wasn't going on. There wasn't enough going on. No, and he phrased it also as regression. Like we regressed the past 2 years since 2023. I mean, literally we have. I mean, we divisional round and then not even making the playoffs. So it's just not there. And he talked about, the same issues still surfacing too. Like, what was it going into last year? Offensive line. And then he said that they patched it up and they did a nice job. And they did. Their offensive line was not terrible last year. He had a couple Pro Bowlers. They led the league in red zone efficiency. But then again, this year, it's the same stuff. So they were putting Band-Aids on the problems and not really making, actual fixes to make them, make the solutions actually work. They were kind of just Band-Aiding the problems because then, again, this year we had the same problem. Offensive line and no pass rush. So, the same stuff sort of going on. And I know he's holding Eric DeCosta accountable as well. He wants them to get this year, to use this year to really build up this roster. So, this was the biggest moment for, the front office to make the right choice. And I really think that Bisciotti's reasoning, using the recent history, lack of playoff success, is the right move. And he was very blunt about it. I like that. He wasn't sugarcoating anything. He said everything. Just, what the truth. He just gave the truth. And that was exactly what we were looking for. And it confirms this is a great owner, guys. I mean, this dude seems, I really like how he's not really just, he's not one of those guys that just rule. He's not a dictator that just rules the entire organization, sort of like Jerry Jones. He does make his moves when he needs to, but he also leaves a lot of the business to people like EDC and, the president. I know Sashi Brown's name came up a lot too. But, when an owner decision needs to be made, it will be made. And I really respect Steve Bisciotti on that side of things. He knows when he needs to step in and when he doesn't. And that's something that we can't really say about a lot of owners in the league. And this I really appreciate what he's doing. And, taking ownership, taking accountability, and trying to make the fixes to get this team another Lombardi. So I'm completely on board. The phone call thing is kind of wild, but, got to do what you got to do. Got to do what you got to do. So, yeah.
I mean, with Bisciotti, I think he emphasized that it was just time. It was just time for a new regime. It was time to go in a different direction. I mean, honestly, if Harbaugh was not let go, I believe he was going to run it back with the same coaching staff. And I just don't think Bisciotti was on board with that. And he was like, hey, man, listen, it's time. Like, we've had 2 years of this, and it's only gotten worse. So it is indeed time. I respect Bisciotti for being able to make the decision. That's not easy, especially knowing someone for 18 years, being close with somebody for 18 years, and then you got to fire him. I mean, he said he loves Harbaugh like a brother, and he had to fire his brother. And that's not easy to do. That's not an easy decision to make. But unfortunately, in business, you have to make tough decisions. And this was probably one of the toughest decisions of his career. Well, not even just of his career, but of owning this team. So I gave credit to Bisciotti. And you can also acknowledge Harbaugh, for everything he's done in Baltimore. Obviously, he was a big staple in the community. You know, so I mean, it's not like, oh, yay, Harbaugh's gone, woot woot, but you know, it was just time. It was time for a new regime. It was time to switch things up for this Ravens organization that had aspirations of chasing a Super Bowl. And that starts with, you know, coming in with a fresh new culture to establish winning again, because we haven't really done it in a long time, you know. So shout out to Bisciotti for making the move. I know it was not easy, but it just needed to be done. I also agreed the phone call thing was a little wild, but the way he described it was like, I'm not about to call him all the way to come back here just to fire him and tell him, okay, now you can leave. Like, you know, like that's, I kind of get that, like that, you know, but he said him and Harbaugh had a heartfelt conversation. You know, he said that Harbaugh said, you know, he didn't owe him anything. You gave a special teams coach a chance to coach a football team, you know, and he did it for 18 years. So, you know, shout out to Bisciotti for making that call. Obviously, he spoke a lot about this head coach search. There was a lot of questions towards the head coaching search, how it's going, how the interviews have been, and the Ravens have casted a wide net for this head coaching search, Gonz. I mean, there's been 11 interviews done so far, with about like 4 more to go, I think, by the end of this weekend or going into next week. So the Ravens are casting a wide net. Clint Kubiak, Jesse Minter, Brian Flores. They've interviewed Jim Schwartz, the Browns defensive coordinator. They've interviewed Mike McDaniel, former Miami Dolphins head coach. So they're casting a wide net. I just want to get your thoughts, Gonz. So far, how have you felt about the coaches we have interviewed so far? And, you know, who are you kind of looking forward to moving on to the next round? Because I know DeCosta said they're going to hold as many interviews as possible, and then they're going to bring the number down to about 5 candidates for final interviews. So how have you felt about the candidates that have been interviewed so far?
Well, you know, they've literally interviewed everybody that we've been talking about and more. So, you know, my opinions stay the same. I'll really have more to say once they cut it down to those final 4 or final 5 or whatever you said. And it's a wide variety of former coaches, all new coaches, not new coaches as in people that have not held head coach positions, you know, pass game coordinators, you know, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, whatever. So it's a nice little mixture. But Bisciotti also was talking about his, you know, he enjoys, or he acknowledges rather, those candidates that have head coaching experience and, you know, got thrown into bad situations and, you know, not necessarily had the best time. So, you know, that could pertain to a lot of different people, you know, like McDaniel, Stefanski. That's someone you didn't
mention. Stefanski. I forgot to mention him. Thank you for that. I forgot to mention
Cliff Kingsbury. You know, there's a lot of different people that could fall into that category. So I don't know how much, you know, thought we need to put into that statement or that little, you know, that little part of the press conference. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of different people, and I really can't even begin to dissect it until we narrow it down. I mean, I'd like to see them get still Brian Flores, Clint Kubiak, or, you know, a young. Honestly, after some thought, I'm more split down the middle. I wouldn't mind a young offensive mind as a head coach. But at the same time, with this defense needs a culture change. This whole team needs a culture change, but the defense especially. So a young defensive mind to come in here and turn back the clock so we can have hard-hitting, you know, nose-breaking tacklers like we used to, those Big Ben days when we used to break people's noses. You know, obviously we're not going to be that physical ever again because the game is changing, but, you know, just bring back the defense in Baltimore that we're used to seeing. You know, just we need stops in the fourth quarter. Like that really irks me when we have the lead, or, you know, we're struggling the whole game, then we finally get a 7-point lead or a 4-point lead or whatever, and then we can't close the game out. That is the most annoying feeling in the world, and we need to get back to that point. So again, young defensive mind, I don't know. Go get somebody. I'm split because I want both sound good to me. I don't know how you feel about it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm so torn, right? I'm kind of with you on like being 50-50 with it because but like I've been telling everyone at all my friends at my work, all like you guys in the group chat, I've been all in on Clint Kubiak. I would love Clint Kubiak to come here and coach this team, but then it's like, dang, Brian Flores would be also a great culture change to help bring the defense, or Jesse Minter from the Chargers, to bring in and change this defense back to what it was. Like, I'm so torn. I'm all in on Kubiak, but then again, would I be mad if it's Flores? Would I be mad if it's Minter? No. Like, would I be mad? I'm not gonna lie. Another person who's kind of climbing on my list is Mike McDaniel. Like, what if he comes in? Listen. I'm not. Maybe he's not a head coach. Maybe he's an OC. I don't know.
He's interviewing for a head coach right now.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know, man. Like it's just the way he runs the offense, man. Like imagine if he had Lamar instead of Tua running that offense.
Might be interesting.
It could be interesting, right? Like I don't know.
Would that lead us to go away from physical players and just draft all speed?
Maybe so. Yeah, probably so.
I don't know. He was with the Niners, right?
Yeah, he was.
I don't know.
I think, was he under the Shanahan tree?
Yeah, he was. He was the offensive coordinator for the Niners. I think back in the Jimmy Garoppolo days. Yeah, they had a lot of speed. They had Mostert. They had, I don't know if McCaffrey was there by the time he left. I'd have to look into it.
It's been so long. I feel like McCaffrey's just been a Niner for a while, so that's just.
I would really like McDaniel as an offensive coordinator. That would be my dream. If we could get Minter, or if we're going to go defense, Minter, Flores with Mike McDaniel as a coordinator, I would absolutely love that. Because he's a kind of mind, but just I don't know about the physicality of our team if he is the head coach, because the Dolphins, they just seem to get bullied. I think. Maybe
I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point. It's like we ourselves have lacked physicality on this team. Like we aren't like sure tacklers. We're not really aggressive.
There are games where we do show up and we are physical, but I mean consistently.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. There were some moments this current year where we were not. And like
more than just a few.
Yeah, it was inconsistent. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's up in the air for me right now. Like I don't know if I want an offensive coach. I don't know if I want a defensive coach.
Even if you can get two head coaches for one, meaning that you get a head coach, obviously, then you get a head coach as a coordinator, that would be phenomenal for me. I would be like signing Gary Kubiak back in 2014. I was excited about that move. I really was, because I'm like, oh my God, this dude was with the Texans for how many years? Like 6 or 7 straight years. And now he's going to be an offensive coordinator for the Ravens. Look out. And sure enough, we had at the time our best offensive season in Ravens history. Before all the Jackson days. I mean, Justin Forsett, Flacco, Steve Smith, Torrey Smith, Dennis Pitta, Owen Daniels, the former Texan. We were really efficient. That was Joe Flacco's best year as a starter. I mean, he was the most efficient passer. That was his most efficient passing season in the Ravens as a Raven. So, short, quick West Coast scheme. If we can the point is, if we can get somebody like that, like Mike McDaniel's been coach of the Dolphins for how many years? 3, 4?
Yeah, about 3 or 4.
That would be great. That would be insane, honestly. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to determine right now, obviously. They still have to do they're still doing first round of interviews, and they still got to lower this down. But one thing Bisciotti did say during the press conference is that the players do have some say. Like, they have an opinion to give. You know what I mean? And one main force behind that decision, well, obviously, like Bisciotti said, he doesn't have the power, which that line kind of put me the wrong way, but that obviously I know what he meant, but I feel like the way he said it was kind of wild.
What, the Lamar thing?
Yeah, he said like, he doesn't really have the power. I mean, we know.
I honestly like that, because again, he's showing his authority without being a dictator. I know it kind of sounds like a dictator, but You know,
I mean,
he's got to say. He said it like this: Lamar has to say, but I will make the decision.
Yeah, and I mean
perfect. I love.
We know. I mean, yeah, we know that, but I mean, I feel as though he could have said like, I mean, I will make the final decision, of course, but the guys will have a say so, and their opinions will factor in. I mean, he said that, but he didn't say it in a way that was kind of like,
hey, if we're being blunt the whole time, we're going to continue to be blunt.
I guess. I don't know. That rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, but either way,
I love it.
But either way, he did say that Lamar will have a voice in the choice bars. And he said that he's even telling Lamar, like, hey, if you want to fly up from Florida to come do these second round of interviews with us, come on up. I'll send my private jet. That's so wild. He's going to send a private jet. He send the private jet to Florida to pick up Lamar and say, yo, come do these interviews. So I don't know. Will Lamar do it?
I don't think he is.
I think he should. Why not? Like
this is Lamar's time to kind of just separate himself. I mean, he's kind of done that in the past where he's just gone.
I mean, yeah, man, but it gets to a point, man. Like now, Harbaugh's gone. Harbaugh is gone. Like this is the team. Like the Ravens firing Harbaugh was pretty much saying, "Listen, man, we're locked in with you. You are going to lead this team." If you're going to continue to lead this team, we need your voice to be more heard. We need you to be more vocal in these decisions. And if with DeCosta saying, not DeCosta, with the Bisciotti saying, hey, if you want to come on up and do these second round of interviews and be involved, come on up. Like, come back to Baltimore for a little bit. Do these interviews. Like, why not? Like, I think he should do it. I think he should make his voice heard because, again, this person who's coming into this locker room is going to be leading you. You know what I mean? Like he's coming in to be the voice with you to try to get this team to a championship. If you want your voice heard, Lamar, come up, do these second round of interviews for these next couple. Because DeCosta has said, I'm texting Lamar after every interview. Like I'm texting Lamar after every interview and like letting him know what's up. Like, dude, your voice matters. Like Lamar Jackson, your voice matters in Baltimore. Come do these second round of interviews.
And get us a Super Bowl, please.
Shoot, man. Like I'm just saying, bro.
We need to get one out of him. We have to.
I feel like
it's a failure. It's a failure. I feel like
we can, man. I mean, it just depends on who's going to be the leader of this team to make the appropriate decisions going forward to bring this team back to championship contention. So we'll see. Like we said, the net has been casted very wide. Right. There's a lot of people in consideration for this job. I mean, this is probably the most attractive job out of all the head coaching vacancies. I think there's about 8 left now because we're about to get to this next topic. Our dear beloved.
Before you go to John Harbaugh, I know you're about to do it, and I hate to interrupt your beautiful transition. I'm sorry.
I had the transition.
Damn it. One more thing you did leave out about the Bisciotti conference. He made it clear that he really, really wants, and I can't remember if it was Bisciotti or EDC who said this, that they want to get a Lamar extension done before free agency.
Oh, Bisciotti said that.
We're adamant about that.
Yeah, Bisciotti said that.
I love that, and they need to. I hope they get it done. I hope they follow through with their word. They need to, so they can get that money situation straightened out. So, as Bisciotti put it, Eric DeCosta can build this roster.
Yeah,
they got to do this, and they will have much more. They'll have more money than they have in the past if they can get this done. Free up a lot of cap space to go out and get some key defensive players, pass rushers, O-linemen. Re-sign some of your own free agents. There's a laundry list that you got to go through and pick and choose who you want. You got to get Linderbaum. You got to attempt to get Likely. You got to get Pat Ricard. I think Pat Ricard is a must. That's another discussion for later, but you got to get this done so you can get your money to make moves and re-sign your household names. And I love how they were adamant about that. And they talked a little while about it too. They didn't just brush it off as a one-word sentence. So I'm hoping they stay true to that and, they get it done sooner rather than later.
DeCosta said that he wants to go outside of the Ravens norm and go get, quote, big ticket items.
Yes. What does that mean? That sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, that's a first. Obviously, like the Ravens are usually, hey, let's go to Dollar Tree and go get some stuff, out of the bargain bin. But now they're saying they want big ticket items, and that does start with the Lamar Jackson extension because his cap hit is 74 million going into this year. Now, obviously, you can manipulate the cap. Bisciotti said that, of course, you can manipulate the cap, put it in void years, yada, yada, yada. But he made it clear that he doesn't want to do that. Like, he wants to extend Lamar, get the cap relief so you can potentially sign some of our free agents. So you can potentially go get a free agent or make a trade, for a big for a game wrecker, a player that you could use to be a force on this team. So, I mean, Lamar's extension is one of the most important things going into this offseason, because it'll do a lot for the team. And, I mean, Bisciotti said he's spoken to Lamar. He said he feels amenable about getting something done. He understands that the extension is a big part of trying to get this team back to contention. So I think it'll happen. I'm hoping it happen before free agency to get it done.
Better. They need to. They need it.
Yeah, because it's going to be mad important to get a lot of our guys back and to try to go get guys to help build this team back to what it was. So we'll have to see about that.
Did you hear the little nugget from Eric DeCosta said we were close to getting somebody huge at the trade?
Yeah, I was like, come on, dude, really?
You gonna tease us like that?
Yeah, like, come on. Who was it?
They didn't even say who.
Who are you trying to get? Like, be for real. Who are you trying to get? Like, come on, man. I like the fact that we try to get a deal done at the deadline. It just didn't go through. Like, I feel like that's us every year. Every year we try to get a deal done at the deadline and it just doesn't go through. Like, good Lord, can we get a deadline deal done?
How about you get it done in March? Let's get some free agents.
I mean, no, I agree with you there, but I'm just saying, man, I'm just saying, like, every deadline, it's, oh yeah, we had something, but it fell through. Like, we're like the deadline, Ravens.
Marcus Peters was the last one I remember. Maybe there's more that I can't remember.
Did we get Roquan at the deadline?
Oh yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, he done it, but geez, I feel like we haven't done it in a while. Like, it's been a minute since we've actually had a good deadline deal go our way. So yeah, and also I'm glad real quick too. I'm gonna mention this real quick. I like how Bisciotti mentioned that we need to get better when it comes to drafting and scouting. I don't know if you remember that tidbit, but he said that a lot of guys who were supposed to step up this year did not step up, and we have to address that when it comes to scouting and the draft. And I feel as though that is a really good point to bring up, because if you realize, like, a lot of our late round picks don't really come into fruition. Like, I'm not saying they're supposed to be like 5 stars in every round, but even like I feel like we don't really even find the diamonds in the rough anymore. You know what I mean? Like our past couple of late round picks haven't really been like main contributors over the years. I don't know if you felt the same way.
Voorhees is an example. Caillou Blue Kelly is an example. Not even on the team. He wasn't even on the team to start before
the season started.
I mean, what about Adisa Isaac? I mean,
we know what's going on with him.
I don't know. The only one that really has panned out that I can remember is Tavius Robinson, and he's pretty solid.
He's been great. He's been really great.
He's been a very good depth piece, but I can't really.
Yeah,
Rosengarten is a second round pick, I think, and
he was a second or a third, but he's still been solid, I feel like.
But we need more out of Mike Green next year too. I know he wasn't a first round pick.
I'm giving him some grace. I'm giving him a little.
I'm giving him some grace because of Zachary Orr's shitty coaching. Because after watching Oweh go to L.A. and get 7 sacks, I'll give.
Technically, if you want to get technical, I think he finished with about 10.5 between regular season and postseason.
Yeah, he had 3 in the playoff game.
Yeah,
but sadly, they don't count for regular season, so I'm really sorry. But yeah, so I'll give some of the guys some grace. And chalk it up to coaching. But if I see some of the same crap next year, they're just not talented.
Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to see, man. But I like how Bisciotti kind of kind of putting a little bit of
I don't
pressure.
know. That sounded so rude, but I don't know what else to say.
I mean, I wouldn't say, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how they develop with a new coach, right? But
And we need young studs proven. We need somebody like Max Crosby. I'm Kyle Van Noy. I appreciate everything you've done. I think it's over. You're getting a little old. You went from 10.5 sacks to 2 sacks. Now, again, Zachary Orr's coaching. I get it. I think it's time to hang it up. Let's get somebody proven and effective. And let's not make him a starting every down pass rusher. Or I know they didn't do that. Let me stop. But one of your focal points of your pass rush, because that's what he was, and that's not stretching the truth.
Yeah,
get somebody proven and young.
Yeah, I mean, because Van Noy, he's been a great piece to this defense. He's played a couple of years. He's brought veteran leadership. You can't knock that out. But again, you're right. We have to start thinking about getting younger at a lot of these positions. I mean, Van Noy, he is getting up there. He's not going to want to play forever. Let's just keep it a bean. I mean, we just gave John Jenkins an extension. He's like 35. He's not going to want to play forever.
I don't know why,
you know what I mean? We don't know what's going on with Nnamdi Madubuike. They still didn't give us anything.
I think he's retired.
They still didn't give us anything at the press conference because they can't give it up, right? So we have to start looking to get younger at a lot of these positions. We're going to have to look for D tackle most likely in the draft or whoever will be available in free agency. You know what I mean? I agree with you a lot about what you just said about just, we had to start getting some studs. Like, we have to start getting guys who's going to wreck games, who's going to be able to make an impact in clutch situations. That's what we need. We haven't had that the past 2 years. Like, I don't want to see Kyle Hamilton lined up on the edge as a pass rusher. I'm sorry, Kyle, I love you. I'm not saying I don't think you can do it, but I'm saying you should not have to do it. That's just me being real. Like, you weren't just doing it because of just how talented you are. You were doing it because we had deficiencies on a lot of defensive positions, and that is a problem. So I agree with Bisciotti. You have to do better at drafting, especially in the late rounds, like finding those gems. I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, a lot of these guys, look at the Eagles. The Eagles are making do with all of their picks, all of them, like even the late round ones, like, you know what I mean? And they've developed in the studs. Like, I think I really appreciated Bisciotti addressing that, because it's been an issue. Like, even a lot of fans are even pointing out now, like, you got to start hitting on more than just the first and second round, like rounds 1 through 3. That's fair. You have to maybe start. You have all these 5th round picks. Are they all going to hit? I don't know. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, yeah. So yeah, we'll have to see.
First. Trade that you're going to get an extra. You're going to get some extra picks. I think there's some compensatory picks, however you say.
Yeah, the comp picks. Yeah,
trade some of them. I mean, do something. Do a blockbuster trade. We need something that's going to spark some excitement, spark this roster. Get somebody proven. Then you don't have to worry about scouting and all that crap. You can get somebody who's been a proven, veteran in this league with lots of success.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, you still have to draft, right? You still have to find. You still got to draft, but I agree with you. Use some of these picks and go get some proven talent, man. Because it's not. I mean, you're in a sports where you want to win now. And I think Bisciotti is putting a little bit of extra pressure on DeCosta and saying, listen, man, John's gone. You're going to have to build with this next head coach. I'm counting on you to build with this head coach and build this roster back up. It's on you. You know what I mean? Like, he's calling EDC one of the best GMs in the world. Now go out and prove it. You know what I mean? So
John Jenkins and Travis Jones are not going to cut it. They're just
though Travis Jones has been playing well.
Well, I mean, he can't even play that well because he's getting double teamed the whole time. That's how
Madubuike was, though. You see what I'm saying?
But he can still eat out. Like, we can't. He was still feasting on those and getting pressures and sacks, and because he's just a dominant, talented player. John Jenkins is not getting sacks. I'm sorry. I just don't understand why we resigned. I understand why we resigned him, but again, cheap. I didn't like it. I honestly didn't like it. You should have moved on from him. He's just not good enough. They don't. I mean, you
Well,
need to get somebody that can be versatile. Travis Jones can stop the run and rush the passer. Justin Madubuike can do the same thing. You need to find versatility. And John Jenkins, in my opinion, was just taking up space. Not doing terribly, but not doing great. He was just there.
I mean, I
So,
think
I've been on him all season long, and you know that.
I think he'll be good depth. I think we should still bring in D tackles. Don't get me wrong. I don't think John Jenkins should be an every down defensive tackle, but I think he brings good depth. I think he's a good run stuffer. So I mean, I think he was serviceable in a lot of those moments this past year.
Maybe, yeah, you're right. If we use him as a backup role or a rotational guy as opposed to one of our starting D linemen, he might be a lot more effective.
Yeah, I think he's good in a rotational role. I mean, and again, he's probably not going to play every down anyway because, again, he's not as youthful. I'm not saying he's like an old bag, but
I mean, go ahead and say what he is. He's gigantic.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
he's like a Vince Wilfork type of guy. Not as big as him, but that kind of that role of just taking up space, stopping the run.
Exactly. Like he's serviceable. So I didn't mind the extension, especially because it's cheap. But it's like, he'll be a good rotational piece. I think they will still go out and go get defensive line talent because you can't look at last year and say we don't need it because we do. So that's going to be, we'll see how they attack that between free agency and the draft. But all right, folks, last topic of the night. Our dear beloved John Harbaugh is in agreement to join the New York Giants to become their next head coach. He will be leading the Blue Men next season. I'm hearing with reports that is going to be a 5-year deal worth about $100 million. He'll be among one of the highest paid coaches in the NFL. Gonz, your quick thoughts on Harbaugh's new journey, and what do you think these Giants are going to do year one under Harbaugh?
I think anything over 8 wins or maybe 6, 7, 8, that range, anything over that is an overachievement. I don't think the Giants are ready to contend yet. They've got too many missing parts. I mean, their defense is okay, but they've got to patch up the secondary. The O-line, not very good. Jackson Dart and Russell Wilson were under fire all season long, especially at the end. Jackson Dart got knocked out of the couple games because of concussions because he's taken so many hits. I know they got a young stud in Jackson Dart. He's had some pretty good games. He can be developed. So we'll see how Harbaugh does with that. But this is going to be a tough rebuild. I think this was I think this contract was a good example of, money over championships because the Giants got some work to do, as we said. They also need more wide receivers. I don't think aside from Neighbors, they just don't have enough weapons. So, we'll see. We'll see what the offseason brings, but I think the Giants are looking at 6, 7, or 8 wins maybe giving the division some problems. But I think it's going to be a tough year. They got to start their rebuild, but maybe they'll overachieve. We'll see. That's just my thoughts on it. I think Harbaugh will be fine. I'm glad Harbaugh's out of the AFC North and he's out of the AFC, so we've got to play him again. That John Harbaugh of the Browns crap is now gone, so I'm glad he's gone, and we won't see him that often.
Before I give my quick thoughts, imagine Harbaugh on the Browns. That ish would have been insane. That would have been insane. Yeah. But yeah, man, I agree. I think anything close to about 7, 8, 9 wins is pretty successful. I mean, the Giants have been 7-27 these past 2 seasons. So obviously you can't go anywhere but up, right? I think obviously Harbaugh brings stability. That's one of the main things the Giants were looking for because they haven't really had a stable head coach in years. And obviously, depending on who Harbaugh brings,
I think it's Todd Monken, right?
I was about to get. Yeah, I think he's bringing Monken along with him, which I think would do good for Jackson Dart. I mean, I mean, we have to. I know people have the trepidations about Monken. I honestly love Monken as a coach, as an offensive coordinator, as a play caller. Obviously, he made questionable decisions. Of course he did. I still question a lot of his decisions till this day. But the one thing about Monken was, man, he took accountability for a lot of ish.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't point fingers. He said, listen, I got to do better. I got to coach better. I could have, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you look for in a coach. You look for a coach who understands that he's not perfect. He's going to make mistakes and like things are going to happen. So I think with Monken, I mean, he opened up that playbook for Lamar, and Lamar has had great statistical years under Monken. Especially in the passing game, like 41-4 doesn't go unnoticed, right? So I think he can do, if it's Monken who's going to be the offensive coordinator, I think he can do wonders for Dart. I think he can unlock some things for Dart. Dart is a mobile QB, obviously not to the levels of a Lamar Jackson. I don't think anybody's to that level, but I think he can unlock a lot of things for Dart. Obviously, I don't know who's going to bring a defensive coordinator. I know people were rumoring that it could be Zach Orr. But I also heard that Harbaugh was looking at Anthony Weaver to be the defensive coordinator. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, if Harbaugh can get those guys to 8 or 9 wins in year one, obviously I feel like that's an achievement, especially an upgrade. And depending on how they build the roster going into this next season, I mean, who knows? Who knows what they could really do? I mean, the NFC East is in recovery right now. I mean, the Eagles, they just got rid of their offensive coordinator, so they'll be looking to re-up. You know what I mean? The Commanders, obviously, Jaden Daniels was in and out of the lineup. They weren't playing to the best of their ability. And the Cowboys, I mean, they're still the Cowboys. So, I mean, anything can go in the NFC East. I mean, shoot, the Giants beat the Eagles this past year. You know what I mean? So, and to be fair, the Giants were in a lot of games. They blew leads. That's going to be another funny thing too about Harbaugh going to this team. That's going to be interesting. But they blew a couple of leads. They were up on Denver. They lost to Denver. I think they were up against Dallas. They lost to Dallas. Like they were
Chicago.
Thank you. That was the next one I was thinking of. I couldn't think of the team. They were up against Chicago, lost to Chicago. But I mean, Chicago was coming back against teams all year, so I guess that's just their forte. But to finish off my point, I think Harbaugh is. I mean, we wish him the best of luck. Obviously, in New York. I mean, we're still thankful for him for everything he's done. I think he will do wonders for the Giants. Will he completely turn that franchise around? That is to be determined. But, I mean, I think it's a good hire. I think the Giants got a good one, and we'll see. We'll see what he does this season. It's going to be interesting. But, yeah, folks, I think that's about all we had for tonight. This is a pretty good talk. Obviously, a lot to discuss. That press conference was vast with information. We will be keeping our eye on the next round of coaching interviews. I think some are occurring this weekend. Because a lot of the coaches we're interviewing this weekend are on a playoff team who is still contending. So we are going to be waiting to conduct those, but we will be keeping our eye on that going forward. Gonz, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Hopefully we're back sooner rather than later with more breaking news. So we'll be keeping our eyes on the social media. Let's get this process right. As we said earlier, this is a big signing we need to make. So let's get it done, and let's get it done right.
Yeah. I think them taking their sweet time means a lot. It means that they're really taking this process seriously with how many people they're interviewing. So we'll see. But guys, thank you for joining us on this latest episode. We will be back probably to discuss the next Ravens head coach. We'll see when they will make the hire. My guesstimation, either at Super Bowl time or after Super Bowl. We'll have to see. But until then, folks, thank you guys for joining us. I'm Dom. That's Gonz. We'll be back to you guys very, very soon. But until then, enjoy the playoffs this weekend. Have a beer. Kick back. Enjoy football while it lasts, because we're about to lose it again for about 7 months. So
that's fine. I'll be ready for Ravens football by then.
There you go. So we'll be ready. But until then, folks, we're signing off. Go Ravens. We'll see you next time.